We really have changed the world for housing in Massachusetts, and we are a respected force in Massachusetts.
CHAPA's name has been synonymous with good policy, advocacy, and being a leader in housing issues in the state.
We take for granted in Massachusetts sometimes that we have CHAPA. If you look around the country, there aren't other CHAPA organizations that have 1,000 people coming to their annual meeting to really come together and problem solve and celebrate and innovate.
I'm not sure when the founders got together 50 years ago, they thought there'd still be a CHAPA 50 years later.
50 years of follow-through, 50 years of respect and trust.
The notion that this single organization, primarily devoted to one issue, has managed to survive through 50 years of tremendous change is remarkable to me.
I was the founder and head of a large civil rights coalition of over 50 organizations, which kind of morphed into a civil rights organization that focused heavily on housing. There were people who knew about a CHAPA type organization, a citizens housing organization in Chicago, I think, who said we should have one of those.
The board was made up of a number of people who were visionaries about urban activities. The 60s was a time of great thinking about the Great Society.
The goal here was to have real affordable housing in Boston, because Boston has always been an expensive community, and Boston was part of the great national urban renewal program that started back in the 60s.
We have been on the front lines of creating a major state housing program, a toolkit of legislative ways of accomplishing more and better housing.
CHAPA has done any number of things to put the issue of affordable housing and the importance of planning for affordable housing front and center in people's minds. They've worked incredibly hard over the years to give the issue the importance that it deserves.
It's a very long list of accomplishments. I think CHAPA's work to prevent the repeal of Chapter 40B, but also to work with the legislature to strengthen and protect and improve 40B is really remarkable.
CHAPA has been instrumental in coming to the legislature, fighting for more money for the homeless, programs like MRVP and RAFT, which are critically important for people who are struggling in this incredibly difficult and expensive housing market that we're experiencing here in Massachusetts.
CHAPA's biggest success is positioning itself as being the go-to group related to advocacy for affordable housing in general, but just housing issues in particular.
CHAPA has really grappled with and led the way in trying to figure out with local communities, with government agencies, with all actors involved in housing to try to make new production possible.
We also work with people around the state on a whole host of programs that ensure people have the education they need to go and buy their first home. We work with communities to preserve affordable housing that has been created. We work with counselors across the state to help people have the best outcome when they're facing foreclosures, whether it's being able to be stable in that home and save it or move to another opportunity and help them to get on a path towards housing stability.
One of the lasting effects of the Homeownership Collaborative, which I really feel strongly about, is that it's really elevated the quality and consistency of homebuyer training throughout the state.
The Young Professionals Program is a group that was created by CHAPA as a way to engage young professionals in housing and planning. We have two core initiatives. One is the mentoring program, which we work in partnership with the Alliance for Racial Equity. And the other is a monthly brown bag lunch series where we host discussions on housing and community issues.
What I think is most incredible about CHAPA is its ability to build coalitions of people in various industries or various sort of sectors, I would say, who have different opinions and views on housing, on community development, but bring all of these voices together in a respectful dialogue.
People talk all the time about a big tent, but CHAPA really is that big tent. They bring in all of the different stakeholders and they try to bring people together to have thoughtful, data-driven, best practice-driven outcomes that really work for a variety of stakeholders to improve the lives of people around the Commonwealth.
The public policy advancement that's been made in Massachusetts by CHAPA has come from and flowed from the practitioners in the field based on their real experience. And I think that's informed very good policy and has led to some strategic initiatives that have been long-lasting in the Commonwealth and are really looked at as models for the country.
What makes me proud about my work with CHAPA is knowing that I am giving support to an organization that is really a leader in not just Massachusetts, not just New England, but nationally in the conversation around affordable housing.
We have to do a lot of different kinds of innovation in order to meet the needs, the growing needs of working families and individuals. And so it's not just about the past 50 years, it's about the next 50.
We've got to be prepared to trust the younger generation and let them start taking over the organization. And they'll come at it with their own ideas about what needs to get accomplished. And so, they'll see us as old-timers who did our thing, but they'll have their own ideas about what needs to happen, and that's what we really need to free up, is that opportunity.
CHAPA is working to build intergenerationally so that we don't, repeat the same problems, reinvent the wheel, as well as we can bring some of our own ideas or ask those critical questions of like, why is it this way? Or how was it done? Or what can we do different? And creating those opportunities for us to kind of work across time.
We just need to be aware that we're constantly engaging, supporting, educating, providing opportunities for young people to engage with the work that CHAPA does, to have a voice in what CHAPA does, and to bring them to the forefront for the next 50 years.
One of the things I love about CHAPA is the people that I have worked with over these. It is 50 years, that's hard to believe. But really, a lot of my best friends have come out of doing this kind of work together.
It really is remarkable, all the work that people have done together and the amazing legacy that this organization has. So I'm really excited to work with you all to ensure that we are taking on the challenges, that we're moving forward, that we celebrate tonight, and then tomorrow we roll up our sleeves and we get right back to work.